Greetings and welcome back to another Pokemon Go vlog. This is a midweek update for week 7, August 23rd or thereabouts. Now, I decided to do this vlog a little bit early because I have some pretty big news. But I'll start off by saying you should all by now be aware that we got a patch. In that patch, there's what I consider to be a fairly useless appraisal feature, and a few other little minor tweaks, but nothing honestly worth discussing. But what I really want to talk about is that the night before the patch, there were some big changes to spawns and nests. Now, before you get too worried, I have a video that came out yesterday on a new Clefairy nest in Elgin, Illinois. So if you're in the Chicagoland area and you need Clefairies, check out that video. Alright, so let's get into what I really wanted to talk about. On August 22nd and the preceding weeks, I've had a fairly consistent travel route each day, driving to and from work or school, and I pretty consistently take walks in the same areas. As well as you know, I may know, I go confirm nests in person all around the area. So as of August 22nd, I had been noticing that the typical routes that I was taking throughout the day seemed to be spawning higher level or more rare Pokemon. I noticed a lot more Bulbasaurs and Squirtles in the last few days. I caught a Snorlax while walking the dog in a place where I've never seen a Pokemon before, and certainly have not seen a Snorlax in this area. And I discovered that the Otter Creek Shopping Center that I mentioned, in addition to Clefairies, was suddenly spawning very high level Pokemon and stage 1 evolutions like Seadras and Vaporeons, as well as like high level Hitmonchans, Geodudes, things that were, again, rare to this area. I've never seen so many Rhyhorns before. The night of August 22nd, the spawns completely felt off. There was nothing good spawning after having so many days of better and better spawns building up. The night just felt off. Things weren't exactly in the same place that they typically are. Certain courts or certain corners almost always have Pokemon. Some felt a little bit weird, and the morning of August 23rd, I got on Reddit, and sure enough, Niantic did a patch. Now, it seems like about every 2 weeks, they do what I'm going to call a reset of the spawn locations. And sometimes the spawns will shift by like half a block, sometimes they'll be completely different. And by spawns, what I mean is like in my neighborhood and in many of the places I've been, you notice that Pokemon are always spawning in the roughly the same spot. And they spawn like every half hour or something. Now, sometimes you may get a cluster of low-level Pokemon. Sometimes you might get one good Stage 1 Pokemon. But they're always usually in these same spots. And what I've noticed is over time, what spawns there gets better. So, for example, at the beginning of that 2-week cycle, you may be just getting Venonat and Rattata and Pidgey. And then those will continue throughout the 2 weeks. But on top of that, you'll start to notice other more rare Pokemon start to appear, like Meowth or, Zubats, things like that. And then by the end of the 2 weeks, you're starting to see a lot more Stage 1 evolutions, a few Stage 2 evolutions appear. So I really think that the buildup of cell phone usage in those areas gets tracked, and the more that it accumulates over time, the better the spawns are. Now, I also think that sort of leveling up of the areas can decrease over time, but I don't have any data to back this up. This is just what I've observed after playing this game. Now, I've also noticed after this patch that some of what I call the biomes have shifted, and this is confirmed. So, for example, I had done a video on a place called Fitchie Creek Forest Preserve in Elgin, and that was confirmed to be a Doduo biome, which is a large area where one Doduo spawned every maybe 10 minutes or so. And I can confirm that that is now shifted to a seal biome. So to me, not as useful, but that's okay. So biomes have shifted by 1. So like if your biome used to spawn Machops, now it spawns Bellsprouts, like in Hoffman Estates at the park, Fabrini Park. Where Meowths used to spawn at Cantigny, now there are Psyducks. At Mellis Park, where Magmars used to spawn, now they're Magikarps. So all the biome spawns have shifted by 1. Now the nests, in general, have changed similarly, but certain nests, like for starters and for Pikachu, seem to be intact. So in Streamwood, Bodie Lake is still Charmander's. In Naperville, the Addison apartment complex is still Pikachu's. The Wildflower Park in Huntley is still Bulbasaur's. And then places like the Naperville Riverwalk and the Schaumburg Town Square, where they have Pokestops centered around a water feature, those are still spawning lots of water Pokemon, so I would call that a water Pokemon biome. So be aware of this when you are going out and reading the internet and Reddit about spawns. You need to understand when, whether these were individual sightings or confirmed nests, and are they still confirmed after August 23rd. It's kind of a pain in the butt, but it's what we have to go through for this game. And on the whole, I think it's good because it does introduce new Pokemon to areas over time. Okay, so after 823, the biomes have shifted, the spawns have shifted, and I am going to be paying very close attention over the next 2 weeks to see if the level and the types of Pokemon ramp up over time along the path that I typically take, and that would kind of prove out my theory. So since I'm doing a vlog, I decided to give you an update on where I am. I'm still at level 24. Again, I'm not doing the Pidgey Rattata grind right now. I'm just focused on, kind of catching what I can and trying to evolve. That said, in just a half a week, I've added 3 more to my Pokedex, so I've caught 114, and I've seen 116. I'm still on the lookout for that Onix and Ammonite that got away. My Jogger badge jumped up to 318 kilometers. Basically, most of that today because I went out and rechecked a whole bunch of those nests. My backpacker went up about 60 Pokestops. I'm at 1762. My breeder, I think, went up 6 eggs. I've hatched 108. And then my highest CP Pokemon has now changed thanks to the Otter Creek Shopping Center. I caught a Vaporeon, and this is the first time I've ever seen a Vaporeon or any Pokemon that has question marks for its CP until after you catch it, so I'm calling that a boss Pokemon. This Vaporeon turned out to be 1503 CP. Pretty happy about that. I'm also tracking a new stat on this vlog. It is my milestone evolution candy, for lack of a better word. These are the 3 Pokemon that I am most interested in evolving and closest to evolving via candy, and they are typically pretty significant to me milestones. So here I have 76 out of 100 Squirtle candy, and I am within 24 or 6 Squirtles of getting a Blastoise. Super excited about that. I have 363 out of 400 Magikarp candy, so I am pretty close to getting a Gyarados. And 45 out of 50 Mankey candy, so 2 more Mankeys, and I will have my first Primeape. So that is it. I may still do a end of week 7 vlog, depending on what I observe over the next couple days. In any case, good luck to you on your Pokemon henching and catching. Henching and catching. Hatching and catching. Cheers!